Blessed love on this beautiful day. Shout out to each and every one. Blessings to all. Once we able to be alive, it's important to be grateful. You know, there's always a saying. I always remember this old saying. Sometimes you think you have it hard, but sometimes your situation to someone else is a blessing. Someone always have it worse than the other. So you just got to say greetings. You just got to say give thanks and blessings to all. Good night, everyone. Hope you all doing wonderful. Yes, so today we're going to talk about the connection between us all. The connection between mankind. The connection between the animals. The connection between the soil, the land, the earth. There's a spiritual connection, us all. And we cannot ignore it. Just look at it, right? Just look at it this way, guys. We all need the same light. Without the sunlight, there's none of us can survive. Without water, none of us can survive. So we all basically build from the same connection. We all have that connection within each and every one of us. So we just got to understand that. And just understand, always remember and always observe the animal, observe the plants, observe the soil, observe it all. And observe yourself. Because get what? We all connected, guys. You cannot get away from that. We all connected. We all need the same thing to survive. So we all connected. But I just want to say, spirituality. You know, I don't like to go into this topic because everybody have their own way, and I'm not here to discriminate. I'm not here to talk about other people's religion. I'm not here for that. I'm here talking about the connection that we all have, and we all need each other, and we cannot survive without each other. We need each other. That's what I'm here talking about today. Because I know for a fact connection between me and the plants. I can feel it. You know, this is why sometimes I enter my garden, I take off my shoes, and I enter my garden. Sometimes I enter my garden, but I don't use gloves because somehow gloves take away the connection. Boots, rubber boots. When I go into my garden with rubber boots, and the only reason why is because it's water boots, and water boots, it kind of protect from water go in, and the tall. It's a easier boots to walk in. But I'm gonna explain this to you guys, and this is how we listen to me. We have to remember these things, and we have to analyze these things. No, the connection between mankind and the earth. The connection between mankind and the earth. There's something connecting us for years upon years upon years upon years without we even realizing it. Right? Without we even realizing it. Rubber shoes. Do you know? Do you know that if you have on a rubber shoes, if you have on a rubber shoes, rubber sole in, and you walk on an electrical wire, do you know it will not shock you? If you walk on a electrical wire, a live electrical wire, and you have on a rubber shoes, it will not shock you because electricity cannot go through rubber. So think about that for a moment and see where sometimes we get disconnected, the energy, we get disconnected from the energy that dwells, that connect us with nature, that connect us with the animal, because there's an energy that flows through earth, that flows through us, that flows through the plants, that animal. These roots disconnect us. And some, oh, you don't know what you're saying, but let me explain this to you. When you walk on a, well, I'm not going to tell you to do that, but I'm going to tell you, if you have on a rubber gloves, if you have on a gloves that make from rubber and you touch a electricity, I'm not telling you to do that, guys. I'm not saying to go and do that, but I'm saying you touch it, you're not going to get electrocuted. But if you touch it with your bare hands, it will electrocute you. You see what I'm saying? But if you have on the rubber, the right thick rubber gloves, anything to you. The same with your shoe. If you walk bare feet and you walk on electrical wire or area like water, say for instance, electrical wire drop on the ground and you walk through bare feet and there's water on the ground, you could get electrocuted without even touching the electrical wire because there's life in the ground where the water is. And I'm telling you, water, where there's water, there's life. Anywhere there is water and soil, there's life. Anywhere there is water and soil, there is life, guys. If that's how you're doing. All right, thank you. Yes, you understand? Anywhere there's water and soil, there's some type of life. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. Just look, water is so important, guys. Water, the sunlight is so important. Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, water and sunlight is important to each and every one of us. The animal, the plants, none of us can survive without the water, without the sunlight, and without air. We all need it. Hey, Pure Grow, how you doing? Blessings, blessings. Yes, we all need these elements, and we cannot survive without these elements. And we all connected to each other. But let me get back to connection and why we so disconnected without even knowing it. Why we so disconnected without even knowing it? Sometimes that rubber shoes we wear, guys. Guys, that rubber shoes we wear help disconnect us from our soul. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I wear my rubber boots. Sometimes I wear my rubber boots and it's only for a period of time. But most of the time I'm in a shoe that the bottom is not rubber. Or sometimes I walk through the garden bare feet. And I'm telling you, when you walk through the garden bare feet, whether it's raining or not, you walk through the garden bare feet and you touch the soil with your hands. I'm telling you, feel something spiritual. You feel something spiritual. You feel a pure, give you that connection between you, your plants in your garden, between you and the forest, between you. Thank you, Pure God. Definitely. Anyhow, I'm telling you from my experience. And I've been learning these things. You see, the thing is understanding and know what to look for. Because sometimes if you're not really aware of these things, you will go in your garden bare feet with and you don't even understand there's a connection. There's a connection that flows within the soil without your hand. And I'm telling you, with that connection, you connected to the soil and your plants there in your garden. It's an amazing feeling. Why do you think? Why do you think when we go? Why do you think our garden is one of the most spiritual place you could ever find? Our garden is one of the most spiritual place you could ever find, where you could go and sit down and find peace, listening to the birds them chirping, watching the worms them crawling, watching the bugs them eating your fruit and your vegetables. It's just an amazing sight to behold. You're not listening to anyone speaking at peace and just enjoying that energy, that vibe just flowing through the soil, direct through your soil, up into your soul and your feet, right up to your body. It's a beautiful feelings, but you have to be aware of these things. Like I keep saying, guys, this is real. Electricity energy is very hard to go through rubber. I'm telling you, it disconnects us from the real thing. Pure go say that connection is unbreakable. It feels pure. That's right. That's right. Listen to me. You might be in your home, you might be in your house relaxing, and you ain't feel well. You mightn't feel well, and you just feel like, nah, you know what? Let me go outside. Let me sit down on a stone in my garden. Just sit down on a stone and observing. And kick your shoes off your feet and just sit down. Anchor your feet on the soil and just sit down. And the feeling strange. That feeling strange, I'm telling you. That feelings you had indoors and you come outside, that feeling strange, guys. It's just a different pure feelings that you will not find nowhere else. You will not find that nowhere else. And you know where you can find peace, guys? Within yourself. So when you go and you sit in your garden and you relax and you just take a deep breath and you just sometimes you just close your eyes and you just listening to these birds chirping. You just all type of song you hearing, all type of song from the birds, the cricket. It's just mind blowing. It's just a feelings that you just that you don't want to end. This is why sometimes, guys, I sit in my garden for hours, hours upon hours. Sometimes I spend 6, 7, 8 hours in my garden for receiving that feelings, that vibes, that vibration. The song of the bird, when the birds sing in your ears, because it's all different type of birds, and all these birds make their own song. Every bugs in make their own song. Every animal make their own song, and the song is like music in your ear. The song is like a healing sensation. It's like a healing energy in the air. Nothing beat a peace of mind. And you know what? I always ask, you know, if I'm sitting down and I'm saying, I always talk about a peace of mind. A peace of mind. Because, guys, a peace of mind is so important. Take time out. Take a little time out for yourself. Don't care how busy you are. Take a little time out for yourself and find that peace, because it's important for each and everyone to know where can I sit and I endure this beautiful feelings, whether it's in your garden, whether it's in your porch, wherever. But you got to find that place, because everybody need that little time for themselves. But I'm telling you, one of the most secret place for me is sitting in my garden. It's one of the most beautiful feelings you could ever have, especially when the spring come. When the spring come and you looking at your garden and you looking at all the plants just coming out of the ground, whether it's the weeds, whatever, and you watching the leaf just forming on the trees, and you watching your plants them growing and just coming up out of the ground. It's such a beautiful sight. It's such a beautiful feelings. And then when you realize, my goodness, we all need the same thing. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Piogo. We all need the same thing. The water, the air, and the sunlight. Think about it, guys. If there's no sunlight, all the plants die. If there's no sunlight, all the animals die. If there's no sunlight, all of us, same thing. If there's no water, it's the same thing. If there's no water, the seeds cannot germinate. If there's no liquid, the seed cannot germinate. If there's a woman how a woman get pregnant, there have to be that liquid. The liquid. So in order for the seed to germinate, it need liquid, water. In order for a woman to get pregnant, it got to have some liquid. We know what liquid it is, but I'm just saying it got to get wet. If you just have seed in a dry bag, no moisture, they're not germinating. They're going to stay there. This is why when we put seed in the soil, sometimes we got to wet the seed. We got to wet the soil so you can get that moisture. If there's no water, no plants grow. So we all connected, guys. We cannot survive. We all survive from the same source. You know what? I could remember. You see, I remember when I was growing up, I remember how I was told how rain fall. Because, like, for instance, what they was like, God pouring down the rain and the wicked pouring down the rain, and it's God pouring down the rain. Then when we do realize, we grow and we understand how rain fall. How rain fall, the vapor that goes up in the cloud. You see what I'm saying? But if you think about it, they know exactly what they're talking about. But I don't want to get into the religious part of this. I don't want to get in there at all, because everybody have their own way. So I'm gonna stick to spirituality and connection. Then our garden is a healing place. It helps you physically, it helps you mentally, it helps you spiritually. You just got to observe. You just got to observe. Even our plants speak to us. Even our plants show us signs. We just got to pay attention and observe. Because many times our plants showing us signs, but we ignore the signs that the plant is giving us. And then when we're done, we expect the plants to give us this big yield, this big harvest. But we wasn't paying attention. When the plant was showing you that it need care, it need a little more nutrients in the soil. When the plants tell you it need a little more organic matter in the soil, you ignore the plant, or you give it something different than what it needs. How could you get the yield? This is why the connection is great in our garden. The connection between you, the plant, and the soil is very important. You're supposed to know the soil. How you're supposed to feel the soil. You're supposed to understand the soil. You're supposed to know when I need. But you see, the reason why a lot of us not getting these connection is because of there's something named synthetic, artificial, and there's something named the real. So how do you get these connection? How do you get these living creatures under the soil that you walk on? You walking on the surface of the soil, but they living under that surface that you walking on. How could you keep them? They are so important in that soil. But how? If we not feeding them the right way, we're gonna end up get rid of them. And that system that dwells within that soil. I don't know if we understand that there's naturally a system in our garden with a system in our soil that each and every one of them walks, do their part. Each and every one. So if we is getting rid of them, who gonna do the work? We might look at it as, we might look at it as, oh man, please, what's down there? I ain't seeing nothing down there. Well, you cannot see with your bare eyes. You cannot see with your bare eyes. But there's a lot of living creatures. There's a system. Definitely pure grow. Definitely. There's a system in that soil. And if you erupt that system, then your soil gonna get, you're gonna get messed. Your soil gonna start to change. There's certain things that we put in our garden that, well, a lot of people put in their garden, and believe it or not, if you put it too close to your plants, it burn down your plant. So what you think this thing is doing in the soil? I mean, just think for a moment. Just think for a moment. If you put it too close to the root, it burns down the plant. So what you think this is doing in your soil? Definitely, you're going to see a lot of networking under that ground. That's right. That's right. That's right. And we need them. Them is what keep our soil alive. We could only do our part. But they play a great role in our garden. Organic matter. Organic matter is something that draws and keeps a lot of these insects and bacteria in our soil. Just think about it, guys. Just think about it for a minute, right? If you have certain things in your soil, right? Natural, I'm talking about natural. What you're gonna start seeing, you're gonna start seeing the result. A great soil, a good soil, you're gonna start seeing the result. What result you're gonna start seeing? You're gonna start seeing mushroom. Look how mushroom form, guys. Look how mushroom form. Mushroom form from fungus, not a seed. And it's a living plant. It ain't come from a seed. It's come from fungus, life. Life create from fungus. Come together, and then you notice a bunch of mushroom growing up in your garden. This is real. This system is real in the soil. So when we looking for quick result, it damage what we walking on. It damage. So that it damage. It's got to be something that you building, you walking and you building. The quick result. If you build in a garden, you want to create an ecosystem inside of it. You want that under your soil. You don't want to get rid of that. You want that ecosystem to be present in your garden. with all them beneficial insect, parasite, earthworms, all these things just in your garden. That is important. But sometimes is all the insect, the beneficial insect that we need, we losing them. Why I went back there is I just want to understand the natural. The natural is always the best, and anything artificial or the opposite to the natural is gonna always cause harm. It's gonna always cause some type of effect because it's not real. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna all, and this is what we have to understand. To be, guys, I'm gonna again. I keep saying this for years now. You could have a successful garden. Just adding leaf inside the garden every year, and the weeds and grow up. Just put them back in your soil. You could make use, put them back in your soil every year, and have a successful garden season every year. I'm telling you, once you build your soil the right way, you don't have to worry about how my garden season gonna be. You don't have to worry about that. Your garden will definitely produce, regardless whether you dare or not. When you build your soil natural, guys, whether you dare tending to the plants or not on a regular basis, you still gonna have a product. Last year, for example, I just planted some pumpkin in a corner. I just threw the seed and I never even weed the pumpkin them. Squash is really squash. Why just call them pumpkin? And these things produce some giant squash. When I tell you about giant, I'm talking about giant squash. And I did not take care of them. All I do, I sow the seed and just leave them. I didn't even pull the weeds away from them. You know why? Because the soil is intact. Once the soil is intact, you wouldn't have to worry. Your plant's gonna produce regardless. You see what I'm saying? Your plant's gonna produce regardless, guys. Don't look for no quick fix. All right? No quick fix, guys. You understand? No quick fix. Because if you're looking for a quick fix, you're gonna have problem. There's times your soil gonna dry out, and then when you go into your soil and you're not gonna get that connection between you and your soil and your plant. There's a connection between you, the soil, and the plant. The energy that goes through the root of the plant, especially when you take off your shoe, that same energy come through your feet and run through your body. And that's a pretty pure energy. But guys, how can you feel this energy? It's got to be from a natural form. That's the only how, guys. It's got to be natural. And like I'm saying, guys, this is how you're going to feel the energy from the forest. This is how you're going to feel the energy from the animals. This is how, in the old times, in the old times. I've learned, I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's real, if it's facts. I can't speak on it like that, but I'm gonna share something that I get to understand. In times gone by, in those times, people understand. We so disconnected. We so disconnected, guys. We don't understand how disconnected we are. In those times, when a person hunting, I like to see an animal, they see what they're looking for. It's through a meditation. It's through, they're not using weapons. It was just through the mind. Yeah, you see what I'm coming from? And into the wall, we're going to say, what you mean? How could he do that? Yes, into the wall, we could say that because we have no idea about these things. In our time, you have to have some kind of weapon to hunt. But in them times, there's people who understand how to use the mind and how to connect. And that animal will stand up there and don't move. And they just, these are things I heard. You understand? But I'm not going to doubt it. Because I've learned how energy and vibration operates. So this thing is not impossible. But now, if you notice now, we have to go for something. It's always something we have to go to. Our plants need compost. What we got to do? We got to run and buy something to put around it. And guess what? If we look closely, we have what the plant need right in our backyard. You see what I'm coming from? We have what the plant need right there, but we overlook. We overlook what the plant need and go and get something different. That's not even natural. So we are so disconnected from everything nature. The birds. When do you ever sitting down? Do you ever sitting down and like close to a forest or close to some trees where the birds are? You ever sit down where the birds are? And the birds, they're having fun. They're coming in your garden. They picking food. They picking the whatever. And what all you hear, all of them start flapping and going and going and just going. Flapping and gone. And then when you do look, guess what happened? You see the clouds start changing. And that's happened before the rain. Hey, thank you, Pure God. Blessings. Thank you. That happened before the rain. You see where I'm coming from? That happened before the rain. And when you do look, you see the bird them flap and they gone. Then when you look up in the sky, you ask yourself, what happened? When you look up in the sky, you realize the clouds start getting dark and the rain just pouring out the cloud. Even the birds understand. Understand that. Even the birds understand that. They don't sense that there's rain gonna be coming. How do we know that's the rain gonna come? We look up in the cloud. We look up in the cloud, and when we see the cloud heavy, when we see the cloud getting dark, we know there's rain. So you see what? There's such a connection that we all can look and see, but we're so disconnected. There's a lot of other things we can know. There's a lot of things we can know through vibration, through energy. But because we're so disconnected, we don't know much. And then we always depend on someone to basically tell us. Instead of we seek for ourselves, seek that connection because it's there. Let me explain this to you guys. If animal do one, definitely animal do one, they know. So we supposed to know too. I'm gonna let me this is a demonstration I just use, right? Now, when you turn in your radio station, when you turn in your radio, when you're using your radio and you turn in, if the connection, if it's not direct on the radio station, all you're hearing is you're not hearing it clearly. You know why you're not hearing it clearly? Because it's not connect directly. It's off. So because it's off, you hardly could hear what the people them saying. But when you put it direct on the radio, you hearing clearly. The connection is clear. The frequency, everything is clear, it's connected. Guys, it's the same with us. We just disconnected an hour. We in point. And our source, that connection, we not connected to that source. That's why we so distracted. That's why we so stressed out many times. That's why we see things don't work for us a lot of times because our mission, we don't even understand our mission. Our mind is so cloudy and clouded because we're not connected. If we connected directly to that source, man, that energy, we will see things clearly and we will understand things more. Just like I now mentioned, guys, if you turn your radio on the station and you turn it exactly on the mark, you hear clear. Everything is connected beautiful. But if it's half a little, the connection is not great. So you hardly hearing. You're not hearing what the people saying. You're more hearing the status. So that right there is a prime example. And this is not to discriminate. This is not to make anybody feel any way. This is not for that because we all disconnected. And how we all disconnected? Because of the many lifestyle we adapt growing up. And do we have a choice? Sometimes we didn't even know. You see what I'm saying? So it happens. When a baby born, when a baby born, as soon as the baby come out the mom's womb, right? The baby know how to use the bathroom, he know how to do. He know if he uncomfortable, he know what to do, which is cry. If he need food, he know for nibble on the mother chest, trying to get that nipple, or he looking for food. A baby at now come out the mother womb for the first 5 minutes, already know that. You see what I'm saying? But when you grow up, remember we all grew up and we all went to school, we all went to church, we all these things, and all along the way, there's a lot of traditional teaching we learn along the way. A lot of traditional teaching. And don't get me wrong, some of the traditional teaching, very valuable. Don't get me wrong, very valuable. But I also believe some of them has take us away from our path. So whether we know it or not, whether we know it or not, we are disconnected. But some people try to find back the connection. Some people try to find it back. And some people just accept everything for what it is. So now, when we go back to, I'm going to step back into gardening for a minute. When we go back into gardening now, it's the same thing. When our ancestors, when they used to grow food, what they rely on when they used to grow their food? They rely on the sun and they rely on the water, the rain. That's where they rely on the sun and the rain. They understand, they watch the forest and they watch how the forest operate. They watch how the forest operate, how the plants grow, how, if the place is too shaded, how certain plant stays underneath and not growing fast because the others over them shaded them. They understand these things. So now for them to grow their food, they understand you have to clear out a spot. You got to clear out a spot and you got to get some of these trees from hanging over your garden. They understand these things and they observe the way the forest operate. There's no one goes in the forest to water the trees. There's no one goes in the forest to fertilize the plants. The plants feed themselves. There's a system, and that's the same system I'm telling you about in your garden. There's a system in the forest that works really well. So there's no need for you to go in and wet anything or fertilize nothing. Them plants gonna strive wonderful without the help of us. Sometimes we believe we're helping, but we're creating more harm than helping the forest. So this is where I look. You see what I'm coming from? This is where I look because I grew up seeing people not using fertilizer, period. I grew up seeing people do not wet their plants. Whether there's sun hot, yes or no. That I grew up seeing that. I never see they wetting their plants. Never see they put fertilizer. Nothing synthetic around the plant. And they get great yield. So when I look, I seen these things and then I say, you know what, man? I start gardening and I decide I'm not using anything different because I seen these people growing their food with nothing synthetic and they was getting big harvests. And I continue that. I'm not going to say the way I grow my garden today, I originate it. I'm not going to say it. But I know I take up from what our ancestors was doing, and I also add a few things to myself. So from my experience, what I've learned from them, I also add my experience to what I'm doing today. So by me now looking and observing nature and how nature operates through the forest, I realize I need to do the same thing in my garden. Just like how the leaf fall from the tree and fall on the ground and turn to compost and feed the trees, that's the same thing I decide to do. I bring that in my garden. When the limbs fall or a tree fall and breaks down and feed the trees and all the plants in the forest, that's what I start doing in my garden. I dig trenches and I bury trees. Trees that break down, bury them in the soil. So what I'm doing deep in my soil, I'm creating an ecosystem, a self-sufficient, a self-sustaining garden that will sustain itself over the years. And every year now, you keep maintaining it with the weeds. All the weeds grows up. You make your own little composty. And I'm telling you, doing that, you realize you're creating a super soil. And this soil you created, it doesn't matter what you plant. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you plant. You already know you're gonna have a successful garden season. It doesn't matter. Why you think? Why you think I could come every garden season before the garden season begin? I can tell you I'm gonna grow an 8 to 9 foot pepper tree. I could tell you that and I could make it happen. Not everybody could do that. Not everybody could tell you, watch me, I'm going to grow an 8 foot bell pepper tree and pull that off. So what I'm trying to say is the quick rush, the quick fix is not going to work for a long term. All right? The quick fix that we're looking for is not going to last for a long term. The quick fix that we're looking for is not going to last for a long term. It's only going to last for a short period of time. And then when you realize what's going on, you will have to start back from scratch because now you realize your soil in have that nutrients, that minerals inside of it. Because you realize the earthworms them that lives in your soil, they're not there no more. You realize all these beneficial insect, fungi, bacteria in your soil that grows from the natural leaf and the natural soil. You realize you're not seeing them anymore. You realize your yield is not producing the way you expect it to. No, you got to go back to square one. You got to start over now. No, you're going to try to fix something that you basically mess up. So all I'm saying is, guys, we all connected. We all connected through the soil. Our plants, our soil, we all connected. The animal, we all connected. The trees, the plants, we all connected. We all survive from the same source. We all survive from the same energy. Without water, none of us live. Without the sun, none of us live. Without air, none of us live. So at the end of the day, we all connected. You want to have a peaceful place to dwell, create a garden. You want to have a place of peace where you could go and relax and ease your mind. Create a garden. It helps you. It heals you. Then you can grow the type of plants you love. You could grow the herbs that you love. You could grow the vegetables that you enjoy eating. So there's a lot that comes from a garden. Bad energy, bad energy in your garden is not a good thing. Bad energy in your garden is not a good thing. If you're mad with someone, leave it outside your garden, guys. If you're mad, leave that energy out your garden before you step in your garden. That, you don't want to mix that. You don't want to mix that. That's your place of peace, guys. That's where you go and relax. So you wipe your feet and you leave whatever you have going on out of that garden. Because when you come in and you step in that garden, that's your place of peace. That's where you enjoy life. That's where you sit down. That's where you smell the flowers. That's where you enjoy the smell. That's where you see your plants them growing. That's where you see the vibes is right. The peace you enjoy. You don't want to mess that up because everybody need a place of peace, a place of rest. You could go to the club, but trust me, you're not gonna have that. Yes, you might enjoy yourself, listening to music, having a drink. Yes, but you will not have that feelings that you're gonna get out of that garden around those plants. But you can't corrupt it. You can't carry no mad vibes up inside there. It gotta be your place of peace. And you have to remember that. Always remember, our plans speak to us. Our plans give signal. We just got to be connected to our plans. Take off your shoes sometimes and just walk in the garden bare feet. Push your hands sometimes in the soil. Yes, you could use gloves, but sometimes take that time and stand on that ground bare feet and also push your hands in that soil and feel. Just try it and feel such a peace flowing through, such a energy just flowing through your body, heal you, good, make you feel strong. All need that. All right? So, guys, I just want to say, man, thank you guys again for coming out. Thank you guys for listening. Coming and listen to me tonight. Appreciate that. But these conversations sometimes is well needed. And always remember on this channel, we always try to stay positive. We don't discriminate. We just try to keep it positive on this side and try to motivate others in a positive way, in a positive light. We don't want to the everyone has rights to their own opinion. So if you have your opinion, that's your opinion. I have mine, that's mine. But I always understand that everyone have a right to their own opinion. All right? So I just want to say again, thank you guys as always. I appreciate you all and don't forget to check out my channel. I have tons of videos posting regular. I do live stream from so Hey, John, how you doing, man? Blessings. Yes, always positive. Thank you, man. Blessings. Have a blessed and wonderful evening. Same to you. Same to you. Have a blessed and wonderful evening. Yes, guys, being positive is a blessing. Listen to me. As apostle, I believe in helping and motivate others. I believe in helping and motivating others because the more we help each other, the more we learn, the more we understand. So I just believe that when common people, if I personally, I look at all of us as a blessing. I look at everybody as a blessing, and every plays a part. Everybody plays a role. Just have to understand what's our role. Understand that everyone have a right to their opinion. We can't get mad with a person because a person experience something different than what you experience. You see what I'm coming from? So these are things we got to understand. Building together and learn to understand, learn to compromise. All right? Yeah, all it was just looking in this. All right, all right, all right. Blessings to you, man. Yeah. So, what, guys? Anybody have any question before I leave? Before I end this live? Any question? Well, anyhow, yes. Happy God to each and every one of you. And if you're doing God, peace and love. Enjoy. All right.